Hi knitters, welcome back to Aro Knits and Purls. I'm your host, Aro of Aro Knits and Purls. As always, you can find my Ravelry, Instagram, Ko-Fi, and Patreon linked in the description below, as well as links to any dyers, makers, designers that I talk about in today's episode. And in the US, it is currently the day before Valentine's Day. I say this specifically because I don't know how long it will take YouTube to upload this video. It's lately been taking like at least 24 hours. So I can't say that this video will be uploaded in time for you to watch it the day before Valentine's Day. But if you are watching it the day before Valentine's Day or on Valentine's Day, I want to say thank you guys, because I consider you guys my Valentine, the love of my life. I am dating again, dating casually, not seriously. It's been a lot of fun, meeting a lot of cool people. I get along with most people that I meet, so I've been lucky in that, but no one's serious except for you guys. So I want to thank you guys for choosing to spend time with me as always. I consider myself probably one of the luckiest people on the planet, because somehow I have convinced you all that you want to hear me talk about yarn and knitting. Like, you do. And that's crazy. I guess there are some people who might just like hate watch this, and if there are, that's cool too. Hi. Yeah. I feel lucky every day. I really do. I am a little bit dressed up. You'll notice with the hat. It's a little extra. I'm wearing it because this is the outfit that I wore to Galentine's Day brunch. And just my friends, Megan, Shanna, and I, we knit together. We meet up once a week and we go eat something yummy, pretty much always involving desserts, and we'll knit together and take photos of our finished objects and our knit outfits. And today was no different. Of course, we did Galentine's Day, and that's just to celebrate the lady friendships in our lives. And the friendship that I have with them is probably one of the most valuable friendships, just personal relationships that I've ever had. I will say, before a year ago, let's say, even before, I was not a confident person. I struggled a lot with my own self-identity and self-worth, and it was always hard for me to make adult friends. And I just assumed that maybe I would never have an adult friend, and I kind of resigned myself to that fate. But joke's on me, because now I have probably like a small group of some of the most amazing, supportive women I've ever had the fortune to call my friends. And it's a really incredible feeling to know that you are supported professionally, personally, emotionally. I feel so strong being part of a group like that, and that's a really incredible feeling. If you don't have something like that, I don't want you to feel bad that you don't, because like I said, I didn't have one until very recently. Just when it does present itself to you, an opportunity like that, just act on it. With Shanna, so Megan and I became friends first, and a few months later, Shanna was in Blazing Needles, one of the local yarn stores here, and she and I were talking. She already knew Megan from work, and Shanna and I got to talking, and the first time meeting her, I was like, hey, I know it's July right now, but what are you doing in February? Because I have a few friends that are going to Rose City Yarn Crawl in Portland in February, almost 6 months later. And do you want to come? And I drafted her into the friendship, is how I like to say it. Like, I decided she's going to be my friend and we're going to make her my friend. And I did. And now we hang out every week. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I feel lucky every day that I have her, that I have Megan, you guys. Like, this podcast has helped my confidence tremendously, because I realized that people do want to know me. People do want to hear me talk about the stuff I love, and that's a really incredible feeling. So I hope you guys have someone like that in your lives, whether it's romantic or not, doesn't matter. If you have a relationship that means anything to you, that's awesome. And I know Valentine's Day gets like propped up as this like romantic like thing, and that like romantic relationships in general are romanticized. Like they get talked about like they're the end all be all, but honestly, they're not. Like, I would consider my friendships to be the most important thing that I've forged. Obviously, Valentine's Day, it makes me miss my mom because we would get each other presents, but I feel very lucky still with the people that I have in my life. So I hope you guys feel lucky. And if you don't judge yourself, because it may be that you haven't found that friendship yet, but it'll come and it'll make things worthwhile, I promise. Yeah, so sorry, that's me being sappy. That's me being sappy, but I just want to say thank you guys for spending time with me. Yeah, let me take off this hat because it's quite warm in my apartment, actually. Whew. Okay, so Galentine's Day outfit. This is the Tahka cardigan. Like I said, I think it's Finnish or Danish. I don't speak either language. I don't speak a Scandinavian language. I have an intermediate grasp of German from when I took it throughout high school, but this is not a word I know. Tahka, I don't. It's a lovely pattern. It's by Sari, Nordlund. And a lot of you guys were curious about the sleeve shape. So the way that it works is the sleeve shape, you just kind of rotate it from the shoulder seam all the way down this continuous line, and you just rotate it so that it's on your forearm rather than like on the top of the arm, because on the top of the arm, it'll look real dumb. But when it's tilted down, it fits with your elbow line so you don't notice it, and it's actually quite cute. It's got a good visual component to it with that extra detail. And it really is the small details of a design that make it so worthwhile. And this shoulder seam really gets me. I love it. The pattern itself calls for Aran weight. I chose to use bulky because I just had it in stash and I'm trying to use up my stash. But if you guys prefer Aran weight, that's great because the pattern is written for it. If you choose to use bulky like I did, just check your gauge, which I did. I had to go up a couple needle sizes from what she recommended from the Aran weight. So it's just, if you choose to adopt a different weight of yarn, check your gauge. That's all I can say. Yeah, so it's a lovely pattern. You really should follow Sari Nordlund. She has amazing design. She's so incredible. I have no idea how she does it, design after design, and I'm profoundly jealous of her talent. But that's okay because she lets me test knit for her and I can't complain about that. Yeah, I do recommend following designers just in general because you get a sense of what everybody's working on, what's the new up and coming thing. And then you get a sense of trends. Speaking of trends, I did want to talk about, so this really quick. This is the yarn I picked for my Soufflé top. If you haven't seen Soufflé top, it is in testing right now. It's a design by Penrose Knits. She's in the UK, and what it does is it uses mohair. Obviously, that's why I have mohair. This was voted by my Patreons. This is cake mohair base. The colorway is called Lovely, and I think it's very accurately named because this colorway is very lovely. It's a delicate pink with soft variegation and speckles, which you know is absolutely me. Yeah, it's lovely. But I bring up the trend thing because this design incorporates a ruffle. And there are quite a few designs coming out or in testing right now with ruffles. And I know that the instant view is going to be that Aimee Sher's design, Effervescent, featured on the cover of Pompom magazine upcoming, not yet out, but upcoming. People are going to assume, oh, other designers are copying Aimee because they see the ruffle and they assume that one leads to the other automatically. It may be true that some designers are going to see Aimee's success and try to copy that ruffle. But the thing is, ruffles aren't a new technique. And I'm not saying it has to be a new technique for a design to be stolen. That's not what I'm saying at all. The timing doesn't match up. And I want to explain that. So Aimee's pattern was a secret test knit. I know because she asked me to be one of the test knitters. And I was so overbooked at the time, there was no way I could feasibly accomplish it. So I politely told her no, but that I was super excited for the design. So unless someone was in the test group, nobody knew about it. Then Effervescent was only revealed a couple weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago at most. I want to say 2. In that case, it's going to be nigh impossible for a designer to see Aimee Sher's design, knit up their own design using a ruffle, but you know, their own design, and then write down the pattern, get it sent to a tech editor. And tech editors, for those who aren't familiar, what they do is they'll take the written instructions. Most designers will write instructions for one size, the size that they knit. And a tech editor is responsible for doing the knitting math, for calculating, okay, if a size medium took this many stitches, then a size XXL is going to take this many stitches. And then they'll grade the proportions. That's what you'll hear about pattern grading. That's what tech editors do. They basically do a lot of complex math about body proportions and stitch counts and et cetera, to calculate what you see in the finished pattern. As you know, there's like 9 sizes for a size inclusive pattern, and that's what the tech editor does. And I'm not good at math, but you guys can imagine it takes quite a long time for a tech editor to accomplish all that. So it would be nigh impossible again for a designer to design a hypothetically copied design, knit it up, write it down, send it to a tech editor, and then the tech editor send it back to the designer for testing within the span of 2-3 weeks. I think it's impossible. I think what you're seeing with this influx of ruffle patterns, it's just a trend. Sometimes things line up. Things line up in a weird coincidental way. You can call it the hive mind. You can call it, you know, the subconscious consciousness. Yeah, it's a trend. And I think it's just weird coincidence. I haven't seen any accusations of copying yet. I just want to put my 2 cents in, which is that in the case of the ruffle thing, 2-3 weeks span is not enough time to copy. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that smart. But to me, it seems like a lot. But yeah, that's the souffle. And I'm going to be working on this test knit. Thank you, Patreons, for voting on this yarn. Usually I don't have a problem with picking yarns, but sometimes when you get overwhelmed with options, and you guys know I have a lot of mohair, sometimes it is easy to get overwhelmed with options. So I think that's just what happened, and it was very helpful to have you guys vote. So thank you so much, and I'll show you guys more of it as it works up, but I did want to talk a little bit about that aspect of the design, the ruffles, and just putting my 2 cents in. Yeah. Okay, and then whips. Okay, whips. You guys remember my Chalet days by Samantha Guerin? I have finished the body, obviously. It is finished. I just have to weave in some ends and do the sleeves, obviously, because I don't like short sleeve things. I have to pick up and do the sleeves. And I think it'll be quite quick, actually, once I get going. This is DK weight. You can also use worsted. I chose DK weight because it's what I had in stash, and I quite like this pattern. The yoke is very simple to do. It's a small chart, and what I mean by small is it's just a few stitch repeat. So what that means for you is that you don't have to keep referring to the chart to keep track of where you are. You can just memorize that short little chart and repeat for the entire row. And it's very easy then to do this on the go. Like, I worked on this when I was hanging out with my friends, and you guys know sometimes there's concentrate knitting and then there's social knitting, and a lot of times there's a big gap, you know, big difference between the two. And this one was great for social, even though it was color work. Yeah, so it works up really fast. I have just been not working on it as much as I wanted to because personally and professionally, some things have come up that took up more of my time than I wanted, but I did want to show you guys the update, and I'm really excited about this. If you're not following Samantha, again, you really should follow designers, especially the ones I recommend, because I think they're amazing. But Samantha is really great. She's a really great person, and I love this because I want to show you guys the purl detail on the before the ribbing. It's replicated on the bottom as well. And it's such a simple touch, but I think it adds just something extra special. And it's the same with the Tahka cardigan as well. Like, the shoulder seam, it's so simple, yet it adds such a visual appeal. And the same with this Purl Ridge. I think designing is magical, and I love these little touches that make a piece special. And I love it. So I hope you guys do too. I really have to get cracking on this, but once I do get this finished, this will be my 6th started and finished object in 2022. 6. And that's pretty great for the beginning of the year. I'm kind of impressed by myself, and I know I shouldn't say that. That's not good form to say that, but like, I'm incredibly proud of that. Heck yeah. Like, gonna be halfway through February now, and I knit 6 garments. 6 garments in a month and a half. Like, that's pretty cool, okay? Like, I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really quickly before I forget, Pavlova. You guys remember my Pavlova, the big polar bear fluffy monstrosity that I love so much? It's coming out February 24th. February 24th. So keep an eye out for that. If you're not following me on Instagram, I really think you should, because that's where I update the most. But February 24th, I will be posting a finished object photo, and that pattern will be available. So keep an eye out for that. The other whip that I have to show you guys is my Binna tunic. So Binna tunic is worked up in Gregoria Fibers Cloud. This test knit is for Gregoria Fibers. I actually signed up for her design before I even saw her sample. I signed up for it without even seeing the full thing. So Binna tunic is named tunic, but it's actually a dress. It's a dress. And she knit hers quite long. And I haven't seen her in person. I don't know for sure, but she gives off tall girl vibes. And I am not a tall girl. I'm 5'1", and I think that's 160 centimeters. Am I right? I'm short. I'm a short person. And I'm okay with that. But her design, it goes all the way to her, like to her knees or a little past. And I think if I knit it to her specifications, it would end up as a maxi dress on me. And I don't look good in maxi dresses. I just don't. I'm too short. I just look weird. So what I'll probably do is I'll shorten it to like a mini skirt, mini dress size, and we'll see how it goes. Or I might just shorten it to a regular sweater. And I haven't decided yet, but I will let you guys know. But I did want to show you guys this yarn because I hadn't worked up anything in it yet. I just showed you the yarn, right? And I have to say, I am incredibly impressed because I told you it was reminiscent of Biche Bouche Le Gros Mohair. It is 10,000 times nicer. It's so soft, and the stitches look much more even. You can already see the difference, I think. If you guys remember, my Moonset pullover was worked in Biche Bouche Le Gros Mohair. I like this way, way better, like 10,000 times better. It's just lovely. And this is obviously a drop shoulder design. I haven't picked up for the sleeves, but because it's the drop shoulder, the drop is actually quite far. Like, it's a lot farther even than this cardigan, and this cardigan is pretty far from what I normally expect. So this is going to be real far. And the sleeve is actually going to be quite a narrow circumference, but that's because it basically just goes around my forearm and not my actual upper arm, where it would be here. It's basically down here. But I'm really excited to see how it works out because the way that the yarn is working up, I'm really impressed by. And I really can't wait to show you guys more. Again, I haven't decided length yet, but I will let you know once I do. Yeah, so that's another whip I'm working on actively. Of course, I have lots of other test knits I signed up for that I'm working on intermittently, but nothing substantial to show you. A lot of them are just in the ribbing stage, and that's not exciting. I didn't buy a lot of yarn. I did buy some yarn from J'adore Fibers because she did a Lunar New Year / birthday sale. And I did buy some yarn from her, but what I told her was, hey, I'm just gonna see you in Portland. Bring the yarn to Portland. Because I'm actually, we're going for Rose City Yarn Crawl. I kept calling it Portland City Yarn Crawl, or like, yeah, that's wrong. It's called Rose City Yarn Crawl, and it's at the end of the month in February. And J'adore Fibers, the Red Pansy, which this yarn is, by the way. Did I say that? The Red Pansy, Mourning Dove, in bulky weight. I chose bulky weight, remember? Anyway, I love it. It's a perfect neutral. It's wonderful. Yeah, so the red pansy, J'adore fibers, the knitting PT, Andrea, the knitting PT, then me, Shanna, Megan. We're gonna meet up in Portland, all 6 of us, and we're just gonna go around, check out the local yarn stores, go to some trunk shows, buy some yarn. I'm actually not planning on buying a lot of yarn. And I know what you're thinking, like, RO, I know you're not planning on it, but like, I'm not planning on it. I'm not bringing a lot of money. I didn't save up for it as much as I wanted to. I'm going basically to hang out with my friends. I think my focus this year is to focus on the amazing relationships that I have in my life and eat some good food with them. And that's what this trip is about for me, just hanging out with my friends. So if J'adore Fibers brings yarn, it will feel like I bought yarn there. But I didn't. And I'm not saying I'm not buying any yarn. I'm not saying that, because I know I will buy some yarn. But I'm just not gonna show up to you guys with like a big old trunk full and be like, here's what I got in Portland. I'm not planning on that. I'm not going to, so I'm just letting you guys know now. Don't expect a crazy thing. But I will be doing an actual vlog series about Portland. So I promise to take videos of every yarn shop that I go to, just to show you guys a little bit of their selection and layout. And I'll talk about what I saw at Portland City, or Rose City Yarn Crawl, pardon me, Rose City Yarn Crawl in Portland. And I'll just show you guys what I saw, some things I ate, maybe a couple cameos from some familiar faces. Yeah. But like I said, the point is I didn't buy a lot of yarn lately. But I did get some yarn. So some of you who follow me on Instagram will know I did a 7.5K follower giveaway on Instagram. And that was to celebrate the fact that I reached 7,500 followers. And actually in December of last year, at the end of last year, I told my friends that my goal was 7.5K by my birthday. And for those of you who remember, my birthday is at the end of July. So like, that gives you some context to how slow I was expecting this to happen. I hit that in January and I was like floored because I had it was that end of year wrap up that did it. I really never expected to reach this as quickly as I did. Part of me was afraid I wouldn't reach it by my birthday. I thought I was jinxing it by telling people that was my goal. But now I've had to change my goals. I've had to do, rethink, like, how do I want this to work? Again, thank you guys so much for being part of this journey, because I have not expected any single step of this. And it's honestly still crazy to me that people want to watch me talk about yarn and knit. So yeah, thank you. But anyway, yeah, so I did a giveaway, and, I asked any dyers and designers in my stories. I was like, hey, does anyone want to partner with me for this? And the idea is that I won't pay them for whatever they want to donate as part of this giveaway, but in the giveaway, it will be required that the winner, any entry, follow both my account and the donating maker or designer's account. And that's how we did it. Through the Wardrobe Yarn Company. Through the Wardrobe Yarn Company. I can speak in normal words. Yes, through the Wardrobe Yarn Company reached out to me first. And I adore Selena. Selena is the dyer behind it. And she asked if she could work with me on that partnership. And I said, heck yes, because I love her yarns. She's a sweet, sweet woman. She has her own podcast now. She started it. I think she's on episode 2 now. I will link it in the description below. Make sure you check it out, as well as I will also link her shop URL as well. And we talked it over, and we decided that, of course, the yarn she had to donate for this giveaway had to be pink. It had to be pink. There was no choice in the matter, because what screams more me than pink? And this colorway is called Morganite, and it is absolutely stunning. You could see it's variegated, but in a single tone, pink. And I love it tremendously. And I know what you're thinking. If you did a giveaway already, why is it in your hand? And that's because since I was already paying for the shipping from Norway, I wanted to get more yarn. because shipping from Norway costs money. It costs a decent amount. And you guys know I don't like to buy international yarn, not because I don't think that international dyers, you know, don't have anything to offer me. I want it desperately. I want it desperately. There are some dyers in Denmark and Germany. I want you guys. I do. But I hate paying for shipping. It's like one of those things that I just hate doing. Yeah, so since I was already paying for it to be shipped from Norway, I just decided, I was like, hey, give me the same sweater quantity amount. Give me the 3 skeins, the 3 skeins for the giveaway, 3 skeins for me, and I paid for mine. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because it's such a beautiful color. Ooh, it makes me so happy. And I also decided to get my friend Andrea a Christmas present because I didn't get to get it. We were gonna go to a bunch of yarn stores when I was in New York, but with Omicron just starting up then, pretty much all the stores were like, no, we're not letting people in. So I didn't get to buy her a sweater quantity like I promised. So through the Wardrobe Yarn Company, to the rescue. This colorway is called Kissed by Frost. And Andrea, the knitting PT, for those of you who don't know, is a big fan of blue. She loves that blue. And I thought this was a really, really great colorway for her because it is obviously variegated blue, but it's subtle and delicate, which Andrea, I think, is a very classy woman, and I thought she would appreciate. And I know she doesn't have Through the Wardrobe Yarn Company yarn yet, so I thought this would be a really great way for me to introduce this to her. And I'm showing this to you guys now instead of waiting for me to give it to her in Portland because I've already told her about it. What I said was like, hey, I got you your belated Christmas present. Do you want to see it or do you want to wait? And she said she wanted to see it. And I'm the same exact way. I hate surprises. I just want to know. And when I did show it to her, she seemed really thrilled. I guess she could have been faking it, but she seemed really thrilled. So yeah, that's for my friend. So I think I took full advantage of the shipping situation. Yeah. And like I said, I'm really excited about Portland, but it's not about spending money for me. It's about spending time with my friends. And I feel so happy these days. I talked about this in my Instagram. I don't think I talked about it in my videos because I try not to burden you guys. If you just wanted me to talk about yarn and knitting, the yarn and knitting talk is over. Now I'm just going to riff with you guys as a person. So if you are, if you're not interested in me as a person or my opinions or whatever, just like leave now. The yarn stuff is over, I promise. Actually, I'm gonna knit while I'm talking. Sorry. Yeah, so I didn't talk about this in my videos, but you guys know that I have bipolar disorder. And in January and February, most of the time, I get hit with a really bad depressive episode. And that happened last month. It was really, really tough for me. So many people reached out to me on Instagram when I shared about it in my stories and were really so supportive. And I just want to thank you guys for being part of my support network. And I know it's weird because there's a good chance that I'll never meet some of you in person, even the ones that I'm closest to, or who are the most tremendous help. And it makes me sad to think that because yeah, I might never see you in real life, but you guys have been a tremendous help to me. And I want you guys to know that from the bottom of my heart. It's really meant a lot to me to have this podcast and to have the knitting community that I do. And I know I say it a lot, so it must get annoying and you're like, okay, yeah, we get it. You're grateful, whatever. But I really can't articulate how much my life has improved from this podcast. And it's not because now I get to do giveaways. It's not because now designers ask me to test knit. It's just the ability to talk to people and connect about this really amazing hobby that we have where we get to make things with our hands. I just feel incredibly lucky. And I know I say it all the time, but when I started this podcast, I was in a bad spot. My mom had passed a few months ago. I felt really manic. I didn't feel grounded, and just having something this podcast, having something to do consistently that was watched by other people and I would have an interaction with, that it was a tremendous help for me, and it's built my confidence up a lot. And now I can say, without a doubt, I have the best friendships that I've ever had in my life. I am thriving professionally, and I'm grateful every day. So thank you guys for being part of that, because you just watching this video, whether you know it or not, are part of it. And I just want to thank you. And I guess if there are some people who just like watch me out of spite because they don't like me, whatever, thank you. Like, you're part of it. I'm sorry, but you are. I love you guys, truly, from the bottom of my heart. And I know it's sappy and whatever, and I'm not just saying it because it's Valentine's Day, but like, you guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you for being part of my knitting community. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep knitting after I turn off this video, but if you stuck around for my weird sappy soapbox, thanks. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks when I'm back from Portland. But keep an eye out for that special Portland episode soon. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go knit. Bye.